Hello everyone, welcome back to Prince and Nikki's channel. Thank you for joining us today and for watching the recent videos we've done whilst we was on the ground in Ghana. We're continue to feel motivated. We've left Ghana feeling that we've made good progress on the actions that we took whilst we was there. I think there's one of the things that I have come away from whilst we was there is learning that you might have a long list, but you don't always get to achieve everything, do you, Prince?
You can. The traffic and load takes half of your day out. So
Yes, I mean, in this phase 2, we had a long list of things that we wanted to achieve in terms of electrical first fix, plumbing, rendering, to make sure that we come away securing the home with all the doors and windows and things, meaning security bars, not actual glass windows. So fix guttering and filling. However, we didn't quite get there. We didn't do the guttering and we made a decision to pause the plumbing for reasons we'll go into either in this video or in a future one, depending on time. So what you're seeing on your screen is Sika waterproofing products that we purchased for our external plastering. Today's video, we're talking about the external plastering, and also we talk about the filling that we did whilst we were in Ghana. We spent quite a lot of time whilst we was doing the roofing and previous stages researching into the external rendering and looking at what would be the best products to use.
yes, as we said in one of the videos, I've been speaking to Sika, Ghana. Sika is now in Ghana. They got a factory in Ghana over the year, and they recommend the best product they recommend is Sika Super Latest to be applied to the bottom of the foundation below DPM before the rendering. Then we also requested because we wanted a fully waterproof external render or plaster. So that's why we're speaking to Sika. So how do I achieve that full waterproof mortar mix for the rendering, as you would have done a rendering if you do a rendering in the UK, all your external wall are fully waterproof. So that is why Sika recommended a product which helps with a rise in damp as well. So that is what we used.
Yeah, and we did actually post a video on the channel a few weeks ago, which actually interviewed the Sika representative in Ghana. So go over to our channel and look at the playlist and see that video because he will talk to you about it. There are 2 different products that we've used during this process. There's product that we use below the DPM, and
Which
there's also
which is the super latest,
and then there's also a mix that we put in the render,
which is the Sika Super Light.
So there's 2 different products that we used. Some of you may ask why we put in all this waterproofing in our external render when we've been clear throughout that we've been using.
I would just say walk around houses in Accra and you see the rising damp, all the damp issues.
Yeah, some of you may wonder why we're putting this waterproofing on if we've also talked about how we've managed to make sure that we've used DPM, DPC and tape. The long and story of that is that, yes, we always advocate to use DPM, DPC, and a must, you need to put joining tape on as well. That addresses a few issues, which is obviously the water that rises up from the soil, but also the cold from the concrete slab rising up the blockwork. We've done many videos on damp proofing in all of our videos from the channel. What I will say is this is an extra layer, a 3rd layer, and it addresses other areas of water, doesn't it?
Yeah, at the end of the day, that is what is exposed to the element, and there's gonna be water against that wall, so it needs to be waterproof. So I don't know why most people just don't do waterproof rendering, call it plastering in Ghana. But one of the things also to consider before you start your plastering is your filling level. As I was explaining to the guys when we were there, you don't want to do a plastering, then you end up filling against your plastering because it's just exposing that moisture constantly against the rendering, the plastering you've got over there. sorry, I'll be using these two words interchangeably. It depends that I'm speaking and I'm in London or I'm speaking in Ghana because the right term is rendering. But as you can see at the bottom here, we've applied the super latest. We've already done all our filling to the required level before the plastering, because as I said, it's quite important. That was quite keen that we avoid filling against the plastering, as most people do you'll see in videos, which cause all the issues with damp and all that.
Yeah, I mean, whilst we're touching on the filling, obviously you've just seen the images where the guys were doing the remaining filling. With our particular project, we wanted to, whilst we was there, get all the levels and get it all nice and smoothed out. We did have obviously quite a high level of excess soil at the back, so we just wanted to level it out nice and get it to the right slope for the road level. Some things to note for people who are building and preparing is you just need to be mindful of your planning and be really thoughtful in the design stage, that your goal is not to overfill. What you need to do is obviously consider the road levels. You need to also think about getting your foundation level the right level to prevent that it's not too low.
What we do, all the project we do for clients, is we first finish with considering the levels. What is the end level, the end finish level? So you need to check all those levels and determine the height of the foundation. So it's two things. You don't want the foundation to be too low, lower than the road, and you don't want it also extremely high. So if you determine your highest point of the line, your lowest point of the line, then you could make assessment to say, how do I need to set my foundation? What is the filling we need to set for? So today on Project Kofi, we were talking about the amount of filling we need to do in order to achieve the final level. So those things are things you talk about very, very early on in the process. It's not that you finish, then you do a lot of filling, then you bury half of your house, your compound against your wall, but you need to do all those things. You need to think about it as a system, that everything connects to each other. It's good to see 3D videos, but how do you relate those 3D video into reality? Because majority of the things done in Ghana in terms of drawings don't show the levels on the drawings.
Yeah, and obviously you can see on the video here where the road is and how we've tried to make sure that it slopes down to the road, making sure with the pre-planning. Some of the things that I would note as things to be mindful of and things to pick up on is if your home is not planned from the early stage, you'll end up with the foundation being at the wrong level. You might end up then, when you've come to do filling to get it correct, that your windows become too low. You lose steps. A lot of people put steps in, and then when they do the filling, they lose steps. Also, what you don't want is you don't want to step down into your house. You've got to have your road. You drive in and you need to be going up and to a level. You don't go in and then down. So just be really mindful of that when you're doing your own property, making sure you get it right, really.
And also, if you do DPM, DPC, and you end up doing a filling, that is not at least 150 mil or 15 centimeters or 6 inches lower than your DPC or your DPM, you are just exposing yourself to the problem, because water ingress is one cause of rising dam. So although you got those DPC or DPM there, it still needs to be higher than the ground level. So you need to think about your levels at the very, very, very beginning.
Yeah.
One of the things you can see at the bottom of the rendering there, you can see that the lower bottom is a different color. So that is the Sika latest we applied. So the issue we had here when we first applied it, and the guys began to apply the plastering.
Because this obviously is a learning for us as well. We like to test ourselves as guinea pigs before anyone else.
Yeah. So when the guys began to apply the mortar to it, they find out it wasn't drying. It wasn't drying, and they said to me, "No, this is not working." So I have to phone Sika and say, "Sika, what's happening here?" And they explained that it's because of the chemical reaction, that traditionally or normally when you put a mortar on the block soaks the water, so it dries quicker and gets thicker. But when you're using these latex, what happens is that that barrier so that the mortar doesn't dry quickly. So we have come away with a two-stage process where we do a scratch coat, leave it the following time or another day to come and do the finishes. So we had to learn on the job in order how to achieve a good finish.
Yeah, and that's it's done similar here as where we do in England. You do scratch coat, don't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, basically that actually was proving to the guys on the ground that the water is repelled because of the latex.
Yeah.
So that was real good. You can see it all down the bottom, the different colour in the block work. That's the Sika product.
But they did a water test. Have we got that video?
Yeah, we do have a water test video that we did. So I'll try to dig it out and add that into this video here now.
It's not scientific, but what they have proof, the masons and everyone on site, to say that when they pour water on the plastering, it was just running. When they pour it on the block work, you can see the water going into the block work. So they were quite impressed.
Yeah, they was pouring it on the fence wall just to give us an idea, weren't they?
They were quite impressed that the additive we asked to the mix together, waterproof render, was very, very effective. And I think in all, we are pleased.
So obviously, as we're saying, we've started doing the external plastering. One of the things that you just need to be bearing in mind here is just making sure that you're also planning in here about how you're getting off your rainwater from the roofing, the ground drainage, and start planning and thinking how everything's going to tie together. So yes, I think we had quite a good little system going. We had all the guys here. I was quite impressed with the smoothing of this, and towards the end of the video you'll get to see, I actually think on the video you see me going right up to the edge to show how straight the lines were, and on the windowsills they did a fantastic job and I was really pleased with them.
I think I'll say to show that our guys don't use your angles you use here, your channels you use to get a straight edge here. It's quite impressive of the skills they've got and the speed at which we were able to do this while we were down there. Because I think we had 20 people on site. I think 22 people on site. Because everyone that works for us were just involved to get the plastering done as soon as possible. So the whole external takes 4 days to do the whole external plastering just before the Easter break, and we was quite impressive.
Yeah, I mean, you can see here the guys are smoothing it and cleaning off. One thing I will say before, I know someone will come for us in the comments and ask, why didn't we cover up the security bars? We asked for the security bars to be covered, but we were so tight on time. There were certain things that we just had to let go of, so we couldn't find it.
Couldn't find a rubber big enough to cover it.
We couldn't find the rubber to cover them, but the guys were told to be cleaning the security bars when they're going along. But we will also be respraying everything before we have the windows fitted. There were some other things that we had to sacrifice on as well. I mean, at the end of the day, you only have so long there to do everything. As I said, we had a long list of things that we wanted to do. We couldn't achieve everything. We decided to pause on the plumbing. We was also thinking a bit of a rethink about some of the layout in some of the rooms. We was wondering in the master whether we've maybe squeezed it a little bit. So
we need to reconsider the layout.
Yeah, so we was thinking to drop the bath or keep the shower. We wasn't sure. One of the things I always say to people is it's okay to make changes as you go along, and it's okay to slow down and pause and think. There's no rush. So if the pressure is on, to take it off and stop doing that. So we decided to leave the bathrooms. We did internal and external plastering. So there was a lot of things going on for us, lots of different cogwheels moving. So we said, right, leave the bathrooms, we'll come back to it.
Yeah, but one thing we also didn't do is our air conditioning fix.
Yeah.
Because the issue was this, that there were some thieves around the area. They even came to steal our copper pipe for the water we've got. So speaking to the air conditioning guy, if we want to run all our pipes and leave all these copper pipes there, although right now the house is fully secured, you can only jump the fence to go in. There was worry that people will go in the night to cast this copper pipe. So we think when we get electric in, get an electric fence up before we will put those things in.
Yeah. So yeah, we decided to leave that. What you're seeing on your screen now is the feature columns. Because they're smooth, to make sure that the plaster sticks, we use this machine to create a roughness.
Yeah. So what it is when you use the pre-mold, the mold, those foam work to cast the rubber, to cast the columns, they become very smooth. And if you apply, just as Nikki said, the plaster to it, it doesn't stick properly, it becomes hollow. So what it is the guy is just using that machine to get a scratch coat on. So you do all that, then it's finally dressed, then it holds properly. So there is a lot of thinking that goes to what we do to make sure
Yeah.
you don't have to do things 2-3 times because it fail.
Yeah. So you can see here on the screen me coming through the wall. This is when we returned from the Easter break. The plastering had, I think it had all been done by now, or was they on the last corner? But you can see the level has taken shape. You've had all the filling. There'll be one step to go in. And then the plastering's done. So we're there, we're almost there. You can see the kind of slight difference in the colour. That's me looking at the edges. I was talking on the video saying, wow, Prince, look at the edges. They're really good. So yeah, the edges, the windowsills, I'm a bit of an eagle eye. I go and spot everything. So there were some bits and pieces that we had to kind of snag, particularly where I'm walking up to now. There was a bit of a corner that had a bit of a crack, wasn't they, on the plaster? So we had them take that out and redo that.
Yeah, all those cracks because it didn't dry properly before they start finishing it. So I guess it's here you do 2 coats, you do a scratch coat, and then you do the finishing coat. But I think in Ghana you try to do all at once. So
Yeah.
there was a bit of snags that
Just
I
on
needed
this
to
corner
do.
here, they did a bit of a snagging. We did some snagging. So yeah, I mean, overall, we're quite impressed with it. We've got the levels sorted.
Yeah,
That's the bit that they snagged where you're just double checking and triple checking again. So yeah, I was really impressed. One of the things that I noticed and wanted to check whilst I was there that is the quality of the block work 2 years on. Obviously, we've been there 2 years now, doing this site work. And before we did the plastering, one thing I was really impressed with was that there was no mold or any damp on any of the block work, and that's what I said to Prince that I wanted to check to make sure that everything was good. So you see the video that you've just watched, you can see that actually it does work, the process of DPM, DPC and tape. So look into it and make sure that you kind of make sure that's done. You can see my trees here. I'm really proud of my trees.
You finally got your rose palms, yeah?
Yeah, I got some. I got 4 to try and see if we can keep them going. We will talk about there's going to be a small gate on there.
It's still not being installed. So we've just done the fence has been done. So all the columns have just been casted. And we're just wrapping up, ready to leave.
Yeah, phase 2 is almost complete before we leave. So yeah, after this, you'll see on the image shortly as I just walk around the corner. As I said, we wanted to make sure the property was secure. So all the fence walls were closed off. We bought external doors.
Temporary doors.
Yeah, temporary. So we have 2 temporary doors and all the particles fitted. So no one can actually gain access to the property anymore. The doors are temporary doors.
Mike couldn't get there the other day.
The doors are temporary doors. We just didn't have time to look at doors and find what we wanted, but we wanted to make sure that obviously it's secure. So the guys are just fitting this in. There's a possibility I might reuse this in the future for the pool house, but if it's not, it doesn't matter, does it? But yeah, so we made some good progress. We're happy where we are. We came away satisfied with what we've done. This front wall, obviously, that's another bone of contention that we have to try and move it another time, move the wall forward.
Yeah. But I would say we've done the gate. The gate have been fabricated, so we'll do we got a separate video on the gate fabrication.
Yeah, we'll do a whole video on internal rendering, gate fabrication. There's a few more videos to come from the phase 2 that was there. So we'll bring that for you. And also we've got the carpenter there. He's also doing the suffix. So
all the suffix has been done.
Suffix has been done. And as you can see, we've made good progress. And we will continue to plan and prepare for the next phase. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for continuing to engage with our channel. And for those of you who have reached out and the projects that we are working on at the moment, thank you for putting your faith in us. We continue to do our best and helping others to build their homes as well. If you are interested, we are continuing to support people with purchasing of roofing tiles, and we also sell the DPM, DPC and joining tape. So do reach out to us if you want us to help you with those. Thank you all for watching today, and we'll see you in the next video. If you have any questions, do comment below and let us know what your thoughts are on today's video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.